Hello, beautiful artisans. So thank you so much for asking me, how do you do a granny square that is a triangle? So this is my own little creation, and it's super simple. And the other, patterns that are out there, in my opinion, a little over the top, but these come out really cutesy. And conceptually, I'm just going to start this off with, instead of the 4 clusters of 3 double crochets into your circle, we start with 3 clusters of 3 double crochet. So that's how we're starting, and we're going to use green for the center and pink for the outside. So we're going to start super simple, and with our now I do want to preface this with a couple things, which you probably already know. However, I just want to emphasize that the type of yarns that you use do make a difference. If you want your sizes to be consistent, you may want to use the same crochet hook and the same yarn or yarn type or yarn weight. So because if you switch the hook in the middle of your project, or you switch the yarn in the middle of your project, just double check the sizing. Make sure that it's close enough so it's not throwing you way off base, because sometimes the sizes will come out like this. I use the same hook but different yarn, and the size is definitely different. This is definitely um a little higher. So anyway, that can happen, and just to let you know. So what we're going to do is simply um, make our little loop, and then I'm going to put this down so you can follow. I don't want to put it too far. Excuse me. Now, what I do is a chain 5. Some people do 4. Um, I do 5. And then simply connect it with a slip stitch, and now chain 1, 2, 3. And what I do is I work in the circle in the middle of what we just connected. Okay, now some people will go and work in the very next stitch. So I guess it's optional, and you can certainly test that out. I encourage people with crochet to test things out, because there's always a few different ways to do things. Anyway, with this, now what I'm going to do is another double crochet, because chain 3 that we just did counts as a double crochet. So I just did another double crochet, and we're going to do our 3rd double crochet. So this is our 3rd. Now I'm going to chain 2, and I'm going to do another double crochet, and I'm doing actually my cluster. So that's 1, 2, I should say my cluster of 3. And there's 3. Now I'm going to chain 2, and I'm going to do another cluster 1 of double crochets. 2 double crochet and 3 double crochet. That's my 3rd double crochet. And now I'm going to chain 2, and I'm going to connect. Now when I connect this piece over here, I want to connect it to the top. Now, if it's too tight, add a chain. Don't be afraid to add chains, and maybe you come up with your own pattern and your own way to do it, and what you like and what it looks good to you. But anyway, get to the top, chain there, and just do a simple slip stitch to connect it. Okay, now we're just going to tie that off. And you see how fast this is too. It really is fast. Okay, and we're going to, we will weave those in after. And I leave them long because I like to be able to weave them in. Now, if you look at this, just take a moment to look at it, turn it around. You can see there's 3 here, and it's going to form a triangle very, very nicely. So now what you want to look for is when you turn this, you have a cluster. You have first look at it, you have a cluster, and then you have a space, a really good space. And then you have a cluster and a really good space. So those spaces that you see are what we're going to work in next. So we're going to now just take a different color of our yarn. And so we're taking pink, so that would be nice and easy to see. And because this is a tester, I am just going to clip these a bit, and I'll probably take this apart after, but I just want you to be able to see here. So start in any one of the spaces, and what we're going to do, what you're doing is you're going to be doing 2 sets, 2 of 3 like this double crochets. So we're just going to start off like you always start off. Let's first get our little slip knot and make sure that we're secure here. So now we're going to do a chain. 1, 2, 3. We do a chain because that chain actually represents a double crochet. So then we're going to now, so that's double crochet 1, and we want 3. So we're going to do double crochet 2 and double crochet 3. And then we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and we're staying in that space because you want to have a second set of double crochet of you want to have a second set of 3 double crochets. So 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet, and 3 double crochet. And then you're going to chain 2, 1, 2. And now we're going to go to our next space that we see. This is our next working space. You don't want to go in between any of your double crochets. Go to your next space and do a cluster of 3 double crochets. So there's 1, 2, 3. Now I'm doing double crochets. Some people do half double crochets. You can do any stitch you want. You can play around with it and make some really beautiful things. So this is our first set of 3. So now we're going to chain 2 again, 1, 2, and we're staying in the same space, and we're going to do 3 sets. 3 double crochets. 1 set of 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3. You see the 3 there, and you see how you have 2 sets. Okay, I'm going to pull some yarn out here. Now, if you take a look at your piece before you proceed, you'll see you only have 1 working space left. So let's chain 2, 1, 2, and let's get to that space. So let's do our 3. We got our little tails in our way there. Let's do 3 double crochets. And again, we're doing just what we've been doing. We're going to make sure we have 2 sets all together of 3 double crochets. So there's 1 set. And now we're going to chain 2. We're staying in that same space. And we're going to do 3 double crochet again. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now we're going to chain 2, and you see now we want to close this up. And what you want to do is be mindful of where a top chain is here. And some people get mixed up with this, and it is easy to get mixed up, but you'll know when you connect it if it's too far over, you've gone too far up over the top. But you can count, instead of trying to count the chain inside there, just count the thread, 1, 2, 3. So you know you're at the top here. And all you're going to do at this point now is, whoops. Let me get that on that side. All you're going to do here is a slip stitch. I'm going to put this down and cut this, and I'm going to pull this through. It's just a slip stitch. Now you can see, we get these tails. Let me turn this around. These tails, the reason I keep them a little long is because it's really important to pull them through as much as you can. So this is a triangle, and it's a really cutesy. Now you can see, if you turn it and kind of, play with it a little bit, maybe this. Now, if you want to block these because you're like, well, I want it to be a little more of a triangle, but the types I did are a little rounded. But if you're trying to get it to be a little sharper, you could do this. And same with your squares. If you want them a little crisper or a little sharper, what people do, this is adorable, actually. I'm loving this green with the pink. So I could see me just making more of these. So these have to be tucked in. When you tuck these in, this is what I do. I tie a nice little knot. I always do this. I just tie a nice little knot, and then I pull them through and hide them. Usually I have these a little longer so I can do a little U-turn and hide them really, really well. Let's see if I can show you here. So I'm taking a moment to show you this because hiding these is super important, and making sure they don't come out. So this is what I want to show you. I notice a lot of crocheters doing this. They'll pull it through like that, right? They'll pull it and they'll keep pulling it, and they kind of hide it, and they do really well. And they've got a knot. It's probably fine. But if you can pull it like that little bit, maybe one more little strand here, and then turn, and make a little U-turn and pull it underneath, kind of coming over on an angle a little bit, because what you want is you want to confuse the tail. You don't want the tail to be able to just, if someone's moving the piece, it can just slip out. You want it to be well tucked in, and you want it to be not, so that it just can't work its way out. So take that extra minute, and then if it comes like this, right, like that, that's okay. You just clip it, but it's nice and tucked in. Now this was a little short, but this is a better length, definitely. And I'll tell you exactly what that is. That is, I want to say that's about 3 inches right there. No, it's about 4. Yeah. It's a good 4.5 inches, this tail. So that's a good size. Because that gives you lots of opportunity to roll it back in and tuck and hide. Anyway, this is your little triangle. And yeah, so, kind of turn it. Now, to block it, get it the way you want it, turn it and kind of play with it. And maybe there's an angle that looks a little better. I don't know. It should probably all look the same. But when you block, let's see here. Okay, I'm going to use this. Let's say I'm just using this. A lot of people will use foam, styrofoam. I don't have any right now for this particular piece to show you. But I have a piece of cloth. So I'm going to put this on a piece of cloth. And typically what you would do is if it's on your styrofoam, you're going to kind of bring it up like, let me fold this. You're going to pin it. Okay. And then because you want your sides and everything to be sharper, let me pull this through so this isn't showing just so much right now. Okay. So you're going to work on your corners and bring it over a little like that. And then this, you're going to bring it. So what now has occurred is instead of a rounded version, it's a little pointier. So then you spray it with water and you let it dry like that. So, or you can spray it with water and then stretch it the way you want it, either or, and then let it air dry and it will be crisper. So people do this with their blocking also. So that's how you can get a little bit. Isn't that adorable? The color, it's the colors that jump out at me. Anyway, I hope that helps. And for those of you who saw the video where I was taking all of these granny squares out of my bin, I have more on the shelf and I have more in a drawer. So we'll be making something, probably a hodgepodge blanket. But anyway, with that, thank you so much for joining me. If you have questions or you need clarifications on this, please let me know. And if you like the video, jump on and subscribe, join us, and check out our Patreon because we are going to 1 tier as of June 1st, so everybody can enjoy. And if you want to support, it's only $1. And we're going to keep it like that. We just took away the $3 and $5 tiers, or starting to delete them, and they'll be gone June 1st. So, and you still get bennies. Anyway, with that, you have a beautiful, beautiful day.